Hey, I'm Tom.
And I'm Tanner.
Welcome to episode 175 of Bird Squawk.
Doom, 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 doom. Another week of chaos from the Birds, but another win as they continue to rack them up. 10-1 now. Unbelievable. We have the game to talk to. We have some potential free agent signings to talk about. Hopefully everyone had a happy holidays. Happy Thanksgiving as we missed last week. But wow, man. Again, the Birds coming back from 10 points at half. 37-34 overtime victory in the Kelly Green against the Buffalo Bills.
Still wet from that game.
Yeah, I got the repercussions of it.
Yeah.
A little cold.
As we were walking out, they gave away our marvel, Jalen, who showed up there, game winner, sticking it to those Bills. Love it.
Yeah,
love it.
Hopefully
love
if you were there, you could survive. We somehow got ours home through the rain, but. Yeah, man, I mean, unbelievable. Started, almost an identical game to the Kansas City game. I know we didn't make a video following that game, but it felt very much the same. You went into half, and there wasn't a whole lot really to be positive about. The offense sputtering again. Defense kind of keeping you in it, even though they looked okay. They made a couple plays, blocked field goal, kept it close, but the turnovers, like usual, we're killing you in tough spots. I mean, defense looks good, but you put them in two spots that they score touchdowns off of because they're starting on your side of the field. And then the second half, man, it's just a complete opposite team.
Yeah, and my man over here has been Debbie Downer the past 2
Dude, I
weeks,
will not
right?
lie. I will not lie.
And not that I'm Nostradamus or anything, but I did look at him before halftime and say, this game's going to overtime, and we're going to win it. Hey. It happened.
I mean, it did.
We all saw, and we talk about it all the time. You know, the defense is not as bad as everybody says they are. We just keep putting them in bad spots. Do we have some holes somewhere? Yes. But, man, they seem to be the bend, don't break, and then they show up when we need them.
Yeah, I mean, the defense really is maybe they're not getting the pressure we want them to. Maybe they're not getting home as much as we want. But, I mean, if you give them a full field to work with, not giving them a turnover and them starting at our own 40 or them starting at the opponent's 45, if you give these guys a full field, they put together a tough drive for the offense. They give up points, obviously, but they either are holding them back, or they can get driven on and stop when you need them to. They kept them in that game in that first half, without a doubt. And I know the story of that game is going to be the offense, Jalen Hurts with the big victory, comeback win. And granted, that's great, and that's happy that's what that is going to be the storyline again. But yeah, the defense, they don't win these two games without the defense. I mean, we didn't talk about last week. They pitched a shutout in the second half, gets the big turnover, gets the big interception from Bradbury this week against the Bills, the blocked field goal, some small stuff that you look back at that 3 points is a huge difference in that game.
And everybody that was there, we weren't sitting through that freaking rain.
No,
to take an L. I mean, that rain was just bad enough to be a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
It was like misting, stop, then it would come back harder. It was just annoying that whole game. And it's like, I just always, I don't like those rain games for our team either.
No,
I've always had a feeling like they don't play great in the rain. But the man that does show up in the rain, Devontae.
Heck yeah, man.
That dude seems to be just automatic when you're throwing it to him in these rain games.
Yeah, I mean, he had a huge game. I think he had 106 yards. Obviously, had the big touchdown, a couple big third down conversions. But yeah, I mean, I have that consensus too with this team that rain. You think, oh man, we run the ball, pound the ball. That's our style of play. But the rain psychs this team out, at least in the first half. I don't know, man. I mean, the two first halves, you can't continue to start like that. But the thing is,
no, these slow starts.
I just don't know how much of it to chalk up to rain. But then, what does the next 30 minutes mean? Like,
right.
I don't know. I mean, you come out, you look terrible, play calling suspect like it is, and then the second half, you come out, you make the adjustments, you're throwing it around a little bit more, you're starting to establish the run. And I mean, that's the big thing with this offense. And we know when they're clicking, they look good. I know a lot of us will say they abandon the run maybe too quick. I mean, even if you're not running efficiently, when you continue to run it, it opens up that other stuff, man. It opens that play action, opens up even the Jalen RPO stuff. It's so critical, and that was a huge thing in the second half, getting DeAndre Swift going a little bit. He had a couple big runs again, and you just kind of got more of a rhythm. It's just crazy from one half to the next. I mean, I was sitting there, halftime, down 10, sitting in the rain, pissed off, annoyed, wet, and I'm like, screw this, man. I don't want to be here. I'm not having fun. And, I mean, you come out of second half, a little bit of the same to start, and then for some reason they just turn it on.
Yeah, and I mean, Jake making that kick.
Huge kick.
And then that final drive, I mean, in overtime, it's like that place just erupted.
Yeah, I mean, it's always the thing. Rain sucks. It's never fun, but rain always brings some of the best crowds because people there's no freaking losers at that game, man. I mean, you're there to win, you're there to fight, you're there to be part of it. So I mean, there was obviously granted some lulls, but I mean, there was granted reasons to be lulls in the crowd. But when needed, it was loud in there. It was exciting, and yeah, man, you keep thinking, and that's my big thing at half. I was like, you can't continue to win games like this, but they continue. That's what they've done this all year.
They've done
this all year.
Great teams find a way,
and
right?
it's really, really crazy. I mean, you look at it, you're 10-1, man, and I mean, you're still got a lot to do, a lot of work to do, but 10-1, man. I think I had them at 8-3 at this point or something. I mean, that's my big thing, and we can turn to the Niners game this week. Obviously, a lot going into this game. It feels a lot like the Chiefs game. Like, it feels like the Niners, both teams have a lot to prove, but it feels like the Niners are going to come in with a little bit more of a chip. Don't get me wrong. I want to beat these guys. I do. They're losers. They're crybabies. They're still a good team on that other side of the field, but after the 2 wins the last 2 weeks, I mean, like I said, I had them at 8-3. This is, at that point, that's a must win. But I mean, as much as I want to win, if they lose a tight one, like if they would have lost a similar game to like the Bills, I don't know. I'm not sweating, man. I still know what this team is, regardless of the outcome on Sunday.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from, but I mean, this game is not only circled on every Eagles fan's calendar. This is circled on the players' calendar.
Yes.
Right? Because they had to listen to that whiners all off season saying how if they'd have had Purdy and they were gonna just tear us up, right? Well, that's just fuel. And now we're underdogs, right?
Yeah,
in our own
I know, which is crazy.
Stadium.
3-point dogs
I mean,
at home.
what else you want to give us to get up for this game?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's no need to get up for this game. And the big thing for me is like, we don't have anything to prove. And I mean, I think I think for a lot of people, if you're still on the edge, this is the game that if they win this game, I don't think you got any more excuses to think this team's legit. But I don't need this game to know what this team is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I want this game.
Don't get me wrong. I want this game too. I want this game too.
I just want everybody. I want this game, and I want everybody to come out of this game healthy, right? And then get a couple more, and then we can start resting some people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you're gonna get to that point. We'll have to see. I mean, you're up 2 games on a lot of people. On Dallas, on Detroit, on San Fran. You got San Fran, you got Dallas.
I mean, this one is like line it up, smack you in the mouth week. Because, I mean, we had to listen to all of that bull all off season.
Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, and I said this on the way home. I mean, I think in regular conditions, we beat up on the Bills. And that's the thing. It's going to be another one of those games on Sunday. It could be the third straight rain
Possibly.
game.
I mean, now the weather's saying it's going to be an identical.
I get that.
Sunday to last Sunday.
The Bills game was still a great game if you're not a fan of either of the teams, but like, I mean, the Chiefs game, the Bills game, and the Niners game, those are games you want to see normal conditions. You know what I mean? Like, that's games that you want to see it as is. But I mean, like you said, it doesn't take much. There wasn't needed to get up for this game, and it's gonna be an interesting game for sure.
It's gonna be really who controls their emotions, because it's gonna be a lot of emotion right away, right in the beginning. I mean, there's smack being talked. There's gonna be smack being talked on that field. I mean, it comes down to, like, I would love. My take on this game is we need to get out in front, right? Get a lead, because you don't see Purdy and those guys coming.
I think they need it more than we do. But I mean, that's what the Bills. A lot of people were saying about the Bills game last week, that they were coming in as a desperate team, and a lot of people thought they were gonna lose that game.
They do, but I don't even want to open up that Pandora's box of them. We got to hear all that crap, you know?
Yeah, but then the thing is, you know, at the end of the day, not at the end of the day, but there's a dang good chance that you get these guys again.
Get them again at the link. I mean,
I don't know, man. I'm not worried about.
You're scared to get a dog.
I'm not worried about below teams. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not. The thing is, I'm not scared about this game. I just think this is their, like, big game right now. Yeah, this is just another one. This is just another game, man.
I'm sure they're coming in. This is their Super Bowl.
Like, that's what it's gotta feel like. And I mean, this is what I'm saying. To me, it has the same feel of what that Chiefs game felt like. Yeah. To us, that it meant the world. Yeah. It meant the world to go out there and beat them, and that it feels like that's probably what the Niners fans and their team feels like. But at this point, we're 10-1, man. This is another game. This is another stepping stone. I mean, they're not gonna tell you that it's a big game, but like we all know it's a big game.
You know what my man, not Mike Tyson, said? Everybody's got a plan until you get smacked in the face, and that plan goes out the window. And that's what I anticipate. I anticipate us clicking on all cylinders Sunday and finally putting everything together. And I know it's going to be a true test.
With rain, I don't know.
I'm hoping this rain doesn't happen, you know. But hey, if it does, it does. We'll be there. But it's gonna be one of those scrappy, you know, knock down, drag out, just like last week, you know. And we can't be down 10 points again at halftime.
I mean, that's not their plan.
We've got to show up and put some points up right away.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. I mean, I'm invested, but to me, and let us know what you think. If you're thinking what I'm thinking, if this game still means the world to you, and this is the one you've had circled and the one you need to win, but to me, I've seen what I had to see from this team. I mean, you have beaten 3 teams in a row. Dallas, Chiefs, Bills in this gauntlet so far that people have been writing up, and it's just another one. It's just another one added to the list. You know what I mean? Yeah, but who knows, man? I mean, it is gonna be 4:30, game of the week.
Get your popcorn
Everything's gonna
ready,
be going
baby.
on. I mean, it is gonna be the game, and like you said, we've all said, it is the game we have been waiting for most all season, just because of everything going into it.
Yeah, definitely. I want this game, man. I've been chomping at the bit for this game to show up, and you know, I'm hoping that Sunday night we're feeling pretty damn good about, you know, the outcome.
Yeah, I mean, if you win this game, I don't want to look too far ahead, but if you win this game, you're 11-1. Dallas probably wins. I forget. I think they have a little bit of a stretch coming up. I mean, they have Seattle. They probably beat Seattle tomorrow. But they got the Lions coming up and all that. You obviously go up 3 then on the Niners with a win. You're looking good. You're sitting really pretty with Dallas again, which who knows about that. We'll talk about next week. Seattle, and then you got that kind of, I don't want to say cupcake, but you got those kind of games at the end that should be wins from just showing up.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I mean, we'll have to see. But 10-1, man. And before we end this episode, just take a step back, man.
Right.
Just take a step back.
Just enjoy this moment, right?
10-1, coming off a Super Bowl loss. We all know about the hangover, that Super Bowl teams that lose don't get back there, and we're not back there yet. But no, teams aren't going 10-1 coming off a Super Bowl loss. this team is still motivated. This team is still chomping at the bit to prove what they couldn't finish with a couple minutes last year.
I mean, in my lifetime, I've seen some bad Eagles football. And I just, talked to him about it driving home the other night. And it's like, just step back and enjoy this, man. Because this does not happen all the time.
No.
And for the run that we're on, man, just enjoy it. But, this team, like we've always said, is sprinkled with veterans and sprinkled with dogs and sprinkled with guys that keep the main thing. And it shows, man. These guys are on a mission, and I do believe, that they have their mission in mind, and they know what that mission is, right?
Yeah. I mean, they are 100% at this point. I mean, you're 10-1. I mean, there's a lot of rumors out there that we clinched already. Not that it matters, but I mean, you're a playoff team. You're gonna get, no matter how the seeding ends up, you're back to making that run back to the dance. No matter what, you're at this point that you've proved that you're continuing to work that, and you're trying to get to your next goal: division, conference, 1 seed, conference championship, Super Bowl. You're close to already ticking off that one thing, playoff. You know what I mean? They are just continuing to impress. And
what we feed on is, hey, nobody gives us respect.
Feels like last year. Everyone wants to come up with the excuses. Everyone wants to say, can't use the schedule thing this year. Can't use that. Whatever, man. It is what it is.
We'll take it, man. That just adds fuel to the fire for these guys.
Exactly.
I mean, so, we'll see what happens on Sunday.
Yeah, man. As always, we'll be back, as always, next Wednesday. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at birds_squawk. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Go Birds.